Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Today's podcast episode is an audiobook, a book I wrote last year called The 3-Day Entrepreneur, a book to help you create your six-figure year stress-free on a 3-day work week. I first wrote this as an interactive workbook, but then I started writing paragraphs and tips and strategies, and I really realized this is a book. This is really my thoughts and recommendations to you, what I wish I knew when it comes to building a 3-day work week in your business. I feel I've had two main evolutions in my business, and this is the second. The first was in 2016, I really was stuck around money. I thought that, starting my business, prioritizing money, it really felt like it would make me a bad mom. It felt like I had to choose between money and motherhood, and it felt like prioritizing making money would hurt my kids. Thank goodness I realized that the more money I make, the more it's actually helped resource me to be a calm, patient, present, generous mama, resourcing my kids financially, emotionally. I find that I'm more patient with each passing moment. This weekend, we even set up a little vet clinic play area for my daughter, my son, and I. I just find I have so much creative energy when you're resourced and calm. Money really is the solution. So that was my first big aha. My second big aha in 2019, I had this fear that scaling my business, prioritizing my time freedom, layering that on top of the money would make me spoiled, out of touch, a bad coach to my clients. Anytime we feel like something for us is going to hurt the people we love, right? I felt like money was going to hurt my kids. I felt like time freedom was going to hurt my clients, right? We're going to shrink back from it. But really after scaling back my time, scaling up my income, I really realized that by adding more structure, more formality to my programs, more systems, not only did I have team members, so the responses to my clients were even faster, it lightened my load, and I show up more delighted and more balanced and grounded to my client calls than ever before. So that's the one I want to talk to you about today, really how I was able to add in time freedom in case you're in that situation where you are making money, but you really are craving more of the time. Or maybe you're even afraid to make money because you're already limited on time. Before we dive in, I want to open with this affirmation. Taking care of me helps my family, my clients, everyone wins when I put my freedom first. Let's start with the intro. Welcome, Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. I remember the first time I took a Pilates class at 9 a.m. during the work week, I looked around and lightly judged the other women that were there. Why weren't they working? Who did they think they were? I thought in my head. Judgments are one of the purest, sharpest forms of desire. Who was I to have extra time in my week? Even as a single mama living in one of the most expensive cities in the world, who was I to be living this time freedom luxury? What about all the other women stuck, trapped, overwhelmed? Who am I to experience peace, wealth? I realized it was time to work through my time freedom blocks just like I'd worked through my money box in a different chapter. It was time to clear them. So I wasn't just saying I wanted to make more money on less hours, but I could really live it without misery. I could really work less and enjoy the time off, feeling light and floaty and happy in this time off, not just bogged down or thinking about work. The solution I found is a complex mix of real strategies and boundaries for keeping work tight and optimized with a side of mindset to give you real breakthrough. This guide will help you create a stress-free 3-day, six-figure year, and I could not be more proud of you and excited for you for even starting this journey, for listening to this audiobook and smashing the patriarchy, one moment of well-deserved wealth, but not at any expense, at a time. Today, we're going to talk about loving your peaceful schedule, business, and life more than ever, feeling confident that your work hours are actually making you money. We're going to talk about how to structure your week for clarity and stability. We're going to talk about feeling like you can grow with it feeling good, and how to enjoy guilt-free personal time. If you are listening, I would love for you to send me an Instagram DM with a calendar symbol so I can know that you're starting, so that I can cheer you on. I want to open with a story to inspire you. The exercises in this workbook are tried and true. So many of my clients, like Carla, I'm going to share her story, have done these exact exercises in these workbook, and she is at an amazing space today. This is a note that she wrote to me. I'm surprising Anna with this testimony. The Post-it note that I'm showing has been on my computer since I worked with her a year ago. We were discussing goals and dreams, and I had experienced a couple slow years in my business. And then I went to work with Anna on my mindset, and I set these goals. Number 1, 150 to 200K in revenue. This seemed completely unreachable at the time. Number 2, hire an assistant. Number 3, pay off all debt. Now, sitting near the end of the year, I blew past these goals, and this is what happened. I just passed 500K. I hired 3 assistants. I paid off all our debt and am putting away money in savings to reinvest. What a year. I'm so thankful for these little Post-it notes that have reminded me how far I have come. I have looked at it a lot all year long. The other post, it was a mindset affirmation that Anna helped me craft. It's safe to make a lot of money, and the money provides freedom and space and peace I am craving. This has been what I needed. Earning a higher income and being able to hire assistants helped me reclaim space, peace that I desperately desired a year ago. I would highly recommend Anna to help you build with your business and mindset. And then the next year, she went on to book $750,000 in work, right? And it really is this work that we did around believing that she could make more while still reclaiming her freedom, while still working 10 to 15 hours a week, while still showing up for her family. It's so important that we hold those in duality. Let's go through the steps. Step 1, your dream week desires. Exercise 1, non-work desires. Remember how I shared my judgments about women who did Pilates at 9 a.m., being lazy, dependent on men, unproductive? This is embarrassing to write and was a huge internal crisis because, first of all, I do not like to judge people, especially for insignificant things. But also, again, I wanted to take Pilates at 9 a.m. It's so interesting how our desires can come up in different ways. I have a chart, and I'm going to read these out loud to you. And I want you to notice what comes up for you when I say these non-work desires. It's a little menu. You can either maybe feel a yes in your body or a no in your body or not sure. I'm going to read them now. Weekends unplugged. Vacation and travel. Slow mornings off. Long lunch breaks. Ending work by noon. Evenings unplugged. Midday naps. Midday exercise. Midday massage. Midday hobbies. Midday time with friends. As much time as possible for, insert your thing here. Maybe it's kids, time for a health challenge that you're facing. Next, we're going to talk about exercise 2, work desires. I used to feel guilty working during non-traditional times, especially when my kids were small, when I was breastfeeding, quiet Saturday mornings. Didn't I start my business to have weekends off? No, I started my business to work my way. And there's no shame in flexibility or a Saturday morning work session while your house is quiet. What work desires are you curious about trying in the next 90 days? Again, just notice what comes up in your body. You don't have to even write this down now. You can always rewind. But notice if it's a yes, a no, open to trying. The first one is longer work days and a shorter work week. For example, 3 days, 7 hours a day. The next one is shorter work days and a longer work week. For example, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. Early mornings, late nights, on weekends, from my phone, from my computer, from my home, from the coffee shop, working while traveling, with kids, partner, or roommate home, in a quiet house alone. Exercise 3, turning your desires into an affirmation. Again, you've likely done money mindset work like I can be heart-centered, I can make a ton of money. Today, we're going to create a time freedom affirmation, tying in some of the desires that you listed above. So choose just one of those desires to create an affirmation. My example below is from my first year in business. Template. It's safe to make blank your money goal and blank your desire so that blank your reason. Here's an example. It's safe to make $74,000 a year and work super short daily work hours so that I can be with my new baby as much as possible. Before we move to step 2, I have some bonus time freedom affirmations that I want to read to you. Maybe you can see which resonate. It's safe to make 6 figures and have slow mornings. Again, you can adapt that affirmation to be your income goal and your desired time freedom goal. It's safe to have a business I can put on the back burner. I have a small part-time business that makes big money and big impact. The more I make, the more support and freedom I create for myself. It's safe to take Mondays and Fridays off and make more income than before. My business income grows and my freedom, peace, and happiness do too. The time I take off helps me be more productive at work. I renew my creativity and solve problems when I rest my mind. It's safe to not multitask, to focus on work during work hours and completely relax at home. It's safe to take blank off, like mornings, nights, lunch, family dinner, as I create 6 figures. I create abundance in all the areas of my life: money, time, energy, health, relationships. I have plenty of time for my business, babies, and everything I need to get done today. Step 2, the effortless calendar system. Exercise 1, create your code. Here's my current schedule as an example and as a starting point. 3-day work week, 6-hour work day, 3-week work month. For example, I work 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I work around 6 hours a day. I prefer to batch my work in longer blocks while my kids are at school, so I have plenty of time to get things done. Right now, I also work around 1 hour on Monday and Friday for client check-ins or content. 3-week work month. I block off 1 week every month for either travel or personal time or a CEO project. It also means I have just time built in if something is inspiring me or one of my kids gets sick. Just like we have a savings account, making your work fit in the 3 weeks of the month means that you have an overflow if you need it. Now it's your turn. How many days a week do you want to work? How many hours a day? And how many weeks a month? Again, mine is 3, 6, 3. 3 days a week, 6 hours a day, 3 weeks a month. Make your code, not just for forever, but for the next 90 days. Again, the template is days a week, hours a day, weeks of the month. I'm going to share my code examples of different codes I worked in different phases of my business. 6, 4, 4. When I started my business, I was working as a therapist. I would go to the office and work early and do my business 5 to 8 a.m. from the work office and on my lunch break. I would also work 1 to 3 hours on the weekend. 6 to 4. When I had a 2-year-old and newborn, I loved working around 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. I would put these hours when my kids were asleep or when my partner was with the kids. 3, 3.5, 4. When my kids were 1 and 3, I hired a part-time nanny about 8 hours a week so I could get more dedicated blocks of work time. I was nervous to do this, but it was the best decision I could have made. My stress dropped, my work hours dropped because I was so much more focused and productive. 5, 4, 3.5. When my kids were 3 and 5, I had my daughter in preschool about 15 hours a week so I could work 5 days a week, but short days. I started blocking off a few days a month as CEO and personal days. 363. My current work week, Tuesday through Thursday for about 6 hours. I like to batch my work on longer days when my kids are at school. I schedule work 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks of the month. And if you are a visual person, in the written workbook, I have a little image of a calendar that visually maps out each of these schedules. That's kind of fun to look at. Exercise 2, nail your 6-figure business strategy. Now that you know your code, let's define your work time further. In the next 90 days, and then I'm going to list out some questions for you. It's okay if you don't have the answer to all of these. I often work with my clients a long time to get the answer. So it's okay. But I just want you to see kind of what comes up for you as I read the questions and the examples. How much money do you want to make? Example, $45,000 this quarter for $180,000 this year. How many new clients do you need to sign to make that money? This year, 7 6-month one-on-one clients at $8,000, 10 clients in my 12-week group program at $2,500, 10 sales of my $47 shop product for around $5,000. How many hours in client care do you need? Sessions, client projects. Example, 5 hours on Tuesdays, 5 hours on Thursday for client calls, 30 minutes each morning for client care. How many hours for marketing, audience growth, lead gen, visibility do you need each week? Get specific about each action. Example, 1 hour planning reels on Fridays, 1 hour recording reels on Mondays, 30 minutes for going live every Monday. How many hours for selling, personal invites, follow-up sales calls? Example, 30 minutes for personal invites each Tuesday, 1 hour for sales calls Tuesday, 30 minutes every Friday for follow-ups. How many hours of CEO time? Team calls, your own coaching, creating curriculum, lunch planning, mindset work. Example, 30-minute call with my VA every week, 1 hour for my mastermind coaching call, 20 minutes every morning for a daily check-in. Exercise 3, supportive structure for your week. Fill in the calendar for your work week so that you know which blocks you are putting where. Remember, this is just for 90 days or what you are working towards. So you can create one now and one in the future. Here's my biggest tips for you've identified some of those actions: client care, selling, visibility. Here's some of my tips. Put high priority, brave, but not always urgent tasks like sales, visibility, money making first in your workday when you have fresh energy. You'll always get client care done, right? It's the fun part, but it's so easy to skip your business self-care that is sales. Put that first. Next tip is separate tasks when possible. For example, when you plan your content and when you actually write or record your content. Another tip is getting clear on the things you need a silent or empty house for, undivided focus, and which are okay for maybe when you're multitasking things. My example work week. I included a screen grab in the workbook of my Google Calendar in case it helps inspire you for exactly how I structure my day, exactly what days I see my clients on, exactly when I take sales calls, exactly when I do my group calls. Your job is to draft out your calendar template. Step 3, 3 time truths. Get cozy because these 3 shifts might forever change the way you think about time, work, and balance. Time truth number 1, The more you write down, the more mental space you create. Sometimes it feels overwhelming to write things down, like to-do lists or calendar commitments, or review things openly, like your finances or your bank transactions. But trust me, the most overwhelming thing is leaving things unaddressed or packed in your head. Affirm. It's safe to be aware, proactive, and in charge of my life by writing things down. My calendar and to-do list are my team, freeing me to relax and enjoy the present. For the next 90 days, commit to clearing your mind and create mental freedom by keeping everything written down on your calendar and on your to-do list, including personal commitments. It's a game changer. Having it written down is a great form of honesty. When it's all in our head, it's easy to forget what we already have on our plate, so we overcommit versus seeing that we already have things full. Where do you want to store your commitments? Like Google Calendar. Where do you want to store your to-do list? Like Asana. I use Basecamp. When you create tasks, can you also make sure they have a time slot on your calendar to be completed? Reflect on what concerns come up for you when you think of writing everything down. Do you worry writing it down will make it feel impersonal or more real or more overwhelming? For me, I love knowing that when I write down my friend's surgery date, I won't forget to send her a card for her recovery. I love seeing all my commitments in one place because it means that I can relax and know that my trash is going to be taken out on Tuesday because I have a task that reminds me for that. Time truth number 2, structure and single tasking. Entrepreneurship promises freedom, but without structure, the open-endedness can feel like a burden. Without clear work schedule, we are having to redecide our work hours every week when we already have 101 decisions to make in business. Without a clear work schedule, we rely on our day-to-day mood or motivation. Embrace structure, not rigidity. Create a work schedule you love and stick with it for 90 days. Think of yourself as a CEO. You have a big picture on what your business needs to thrive. Pick the schedule for your worker bee self so that your business can thrive. Giving yourself plenty of work hours is actually a gift because it's enough time to get everything done so you can relax and not rush while you work. You can light your candle, you can drink your tea, and then you can shut up your laptop and be done. But also know that time limits are good too so that you don't overthink things. We've all cleaned our house in 20 minutes before a friend stops by, and know that we can be super productive when we set our mind to it. So give yourself that sweet spot of time. Affirm. I'm learning to love structure. I love being able to make decisions as my CEO self to help my week-to-week worker bee self thrive in work and life. Release multitasking. A big part of embracing structure is releasing the pressure to multitask. We've all had seasons of survival where multitasking is essential to get us through. But as soon as we are able, give yourself the gift of undivided focus. I think it's a myth that women are great multitaskers. I think it's the pressure to do it all and make it look easy. But personally, I feel calmer, happier, and more productive since being single-focused. Affirm. It's safe to release multitasking pressure. Every day, I'm learning it's safe to be fully present and enjoy my work. And be fully present and enjoy my life. For the first 2 weeks of your new schedule, stick to it like you are working for someone else. That level of respect and commitment, you deserve it too. This will help you fully assess if it's working. Later, you can decide where to compromise: appointments, friends, personal errands. But for now, protect your dedicated work and your dedicated personal time. It will regulate your nervous system, and know that you can have these buckets to be fully present and enjoy both. Make sure your business policies support this. For example, I tell my clients that they can expect a response within 48 hours on weekdays. That way, when I check in daily, I'm over-delivering for them versus feeling like you have to check your email 3 times a day. After you acclimate to structure and boundaries for 90 days, then you can decide if you want to shift or occasionally break your own rules. But for now, gently say no to yourself and to others during your dedicated work time. I don't need to answer the door right now. I'd love to meet, but can it be for dinner? I need a Friday afternoon dentist appointment instead of Tuesday. Writing down that personal thing you need to buy on Amazon later after your work hours. Mom, I can't do that now, but I can do it after work. Also say no to work during personal time, keeping work email off your phone, not worrying about work at night. Do you have any resistance to keeping your life out of work or vice versa? Time truth number 3, exciting life, boring business. We leave behind the 9-to-5 to pursue a passion-based business that's guaranteed to make us happy, fulfilled, with purpose. Personally, I actually do feel very fulfilled by the work I do with my clients. Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood in my life, I have a client session and I just feel so happy most often. It's honestly, my work is the highlight often of my day and my life. But I find I am able to create the most consistent business results with my clients and my business when I don't expect my business to be my everything and to make me feel happy all the time and complete. Just like any healthy relationship, we don't just want to take, we want to bring something to our business. We want to bring fresh energy, fresh ideas, fresh problem solving, not just for your business, but for your clients' businesses too. This comes from living your version of an exciting life. Especially once your business is established. For the first year or in special seasons, it's normal and beautiful to have like that puppy love, adrenaline, visibility, spur of the moment, late nights, right? My clients discover though that long term, they don't actually want a quote, exciting, drama-filled, emergency-based business, right? With stress, unpredictable moments, everything feels last minute, like a scramble. Planning ahead, repeating what works for sales and marketing, having a clear framework for clients and policies for client care and frameworks for client learning, using simple tools and systems so you get organized. As you grow, you want your business to be stable, boring, and filled with peace and profit. Get your adrenaline from your life and let your business make a ton of boring money to fuel your life and passion and purpose. And then when your business brings you inspiration and passion, that's the cherry on top. Your next steps. 2 years into business, I wanted more income, but I could not handle more work or more clients. I was making, quote, enough money, but I had debt, I had unfulfilled dreams, but I could not think about the mental load of doing more marketing work, let alone the mental capacity to adjust to new humans new humans as clients, even though I loved my current clients. I get what it's like to know you are made for more in your business. I get what it's like to desire more money to fuel your life and resource your family, but also push down that whisper because you feel like adding anything more would crush you. I want to say you're not asking for too much. You're asking for 6 figures on a 3-day work week. And you're a smart woman. You can make that in corporate. You're asking for the bare minimum, in my opinion. Money to provide security for your family without a sign of burnout. Say this out loud. I deserve this. I am worthy of this, even if my inner self-talk tells me otherwise. If you are 40 or around my age, you have potentially been through decades of conditioning that work is supposed to be hard, that wealth is greedy, that sales are icky, that visibility is braggy, that time for you is lazy. So give yourself grace. Say this out loud. It's safe for me to make 6 figures on a 3-day work week. Sometimes it means hard decisions, like changing your business altogether, like Jordan did. But then she went on to have her first 50K month. Or like changing your niche, like Meredith did. But then she went from done for you to coaching and sold out. Sometimes you have to launch a new course or program, like Megan did. But she signed 19 group clients on her first launch. Sometimes you have to update your sales strategy, like Dallas did. And she had her first 32K launch. Or sometimes even taking an extended break for travel, or like Sean did, who scaled past 6 figures on her maternity. I'd love to invite you to a coaching session with me. I know how hard it is to carve out CEO time in your week, but you will not regret it because it's that personal time that can give you some of the specific strategies so that you know exactly how to use your work week time to make the most of it. Carve out some time in the next month. You and I can meet, and I would love to help you personally determine your best path forward towards your 3-day work week. You deserve it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.